Hi, fifth graders. Miss O here. Happy Wednesday, or I guess Thursday, whenever you're watching this. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you are all doing well. I hope your families are happy and healthy and safe. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter. I know Monday's video got a little bit lengthy because I started to describe your assignment for this week, your invasive species wanted poster, and I really want to make sure to help make the assignment as clear as possible, just because I am looking for some really high quality work. I'm also looking to see your creativity. I'm looking to see how you can kind of make it look like an old-timey wanted poster, taking some material from today from science class. So this week has been all about how humans change ecosystems. And we are just going to start this big, long topic today. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep it short. But next week, we actually have Earth Day in the week. And so it's a really good time for us as humans of our planet to reflect on how we are affecting our ecosystem. Are we making a positive impact or are we hurting our ecosystem? And so now that we have a lot of time on our hands and we have a lot of space to change the way we do things, this is a really good opportunity for us to think about how we do things and how we can help save our planet. So I want to begin by, well, first I'll switch over to our display capture and talk again, just briefly remind you, yes, your most wanted poster is going to be due. It's Sunday at midnight. Again, I don't want you up working till midnight. That's not the goal, but it is, if you need the weekend to finish it up, that's just fine. Again, if you want to take a picture if you want to do it on paper pencil and then upload a picture, that's just fine. If you want to do it on the computer, that's fine as well. So again, you're picking out one of those invasive species from Minnesota. You can use those links that I provided on the document. You can do it on a large sheet of paper or two pieces of paper taped together, a doc, a slide. All of the directions are on Classroom. Again, since this is your only assignment in science this week, I'm looking for quality work. If you're drawing, make sure you use nice artwork, your best handwriting, and make sure it's in your own words. Again, do Sunday night. You can find it on Google Classroom. Please make sure you turn it in there. I'm getting a lot of people not turning things in, instead just sharing it with me. Please make sure you turn it in through Google Classroom. Otherwise, you might get missed in the counting. So make sure that you get it done there. Now, you have probably heard of this phrase, climate change, before. And what I want to do is I kind of want to break it down a little bit, starting with just the basic facts. And the reason why I want to do this is because there's a lot of misconceptions around climate change. Now, what this is this describes a change in the average conditions over a very long period of time. This can be things like changes in temperature or amount of rainfall or amount of severe storms that happen. This can cause rising sea levels, cause shrinking glaciers, and can cause extreme ice melt in the Arctic and in Antarctica. So on the right here, we actually see a picture of a glacier, the same spot, you can see the same rock formations around, but this is what the glacier used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. And in class, we actually looked at a video way back in the fall, if you remember this, from Glacier National Park, seeing the before and after pictures of glaciers. What we are starting to see is this climate change very rapidly, much more rapidly than it would happen normally without human interaction. The globe is warming at a much faster rate than normal. Now, when we look at the numbers don't sound like a lot, a degree or two, but really that can make a huge difference. So one thing I want to clear up though before we get started is the difference between climate and weather. Weather is the condition right now in a very specific place, whereas the climate is different. This is like the weather conditions that are expected in that area at a certain time of the year. It's kind of like the big picture of that space. So for instance, Minnesota in February has a pretty cold and snowy climate. That's what we can expect. However, the weather one day might be like a rare 65-degree warm day in February. But this one day doesn't make a difference in the overall climate. Now, we just last week had a nice 70-degree day here in the beginning of April. People were outside in shorts. I know I sat outside and read for a while. It was beautiful. And then on Thursday, we had snow. And so that is the weather. The day-to-day weather can change pretty drastically, especially in places like Minnesota. But when we're talking about the climate, we're talking overall big picture kind of trends that you see. What is it normally doing, not the day-to-day activity? So when people are like, oh, global warming's not real, it's still snowing. That's not really what we're going for here. That is the weather, not the climate. So we are still wanting to make sure we know that key difference. Now, our planet is able to be lived on because of this greenhouse effect that we have. So here I have a little video that is playing, but this greenhouse effect is good because it helps keep our planet at a temperature that we are able to live on it. So what happens is that the sun, and obviously sunlight reaches the earth and it goes into our atmosphere. Now, some of the energy is reflected back into space, but some of it is reabsorbed back into the earth. So most of the heat is absorbed by the greenhouse gases and reflected in all directions, and this warms the earth. Now, this is called the greenhouse effect because a greenhouse is usually a big glass structure that helps kind of trap heat to help plants grow. And this is, again, what I said, made our planet able to live on. This is why our atmosphere helps us breathe and also helps trap the heat to make this cold rock warm enough. However, we have talked about the atmosphere needing to be in balance. And on Monday, a video talked about air pollution and changing the balance within our atmosphere. And so when we are changing this balance, when we're adding extra chemicals into the air, we're changing the atmosphere. And this is actually causing more heat to be trapped, which is not a good thing, right? We want to keep in balance. But when we add more heat or when we change our climate, we are messing up everything. So this one change can make a really big difference in our ecosystems. Does what we do matter? Yes, it does. Human activities are changing the natural greenhouse effect. So this greenhouse effect has been around a lot longer than before humans were here. But what happens is this causes the atmosphere to trap more heat than we should. And so by doing things like burning fuel to power factories, by using our cars and buses, we are emitting gases that change this greenhouse effect, that make it stronger and make it trap more and more heat. So we are making the system go out of balance. And so we are actually heating our planet by the things that we're doing, our actions that we're taking. And so when we think about climate change, we are able to look at data. Scientists always want to look at facts and numbers in order to draw our conclusions. And scientists have gathered tons and tons of data that say that the Earth is warming at a faster rate now than it ever was before. This also includes changes in rainfall, temperature, wind, and other conditions. Now, this alone is troubling, but what is also troubling that scientists have discovered is that what we have introduced is a lot of carbon dioxide. Now, carbon dioxide is what is emitted even from simple things like when we breathe, but it also is what is emitted from factories. A lot of carbon is being introduced into the air. So this carbon dioxide has rocketed since the industrial age. So since factories and things have been starting to be built, this has increased tremendously. Now, when we look at the data side by side, we can see these two trends. We can see the Earth getting warmer and the carbon dioxide also going up at the same rate. They're both increasing. And so we can see that one is causing the other. Now, part of your big idea project last week was to think about your animal that you wanted to write about in a different climate, in a different environment. How did your animal do? If you were a penguin and you all of a sudden ended up in a desert, how do you think that penguin would fare? Would he survive? Probably not, right? We know that animals can adapt to changes, but it takes a really, 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 really long time. And so when we are changing our climate really quickly, we're not giving these animals time to adapt. And so we've seen extinction rates actually increase by a lot. So like I said, I do want to kind of keep this short. So I'm actually going to pop back to the camera here. And I am going to try to keep it calm for a little bit here. Next week, we are going to dive really into this and what we can do and kind of look on the bright side of things. Like right now, it all kind of feels like doom and gloom and terribleness, but there are things we can do. There are changes that we can start to make. And so we want to look at what we're doing and examine how are we affecting our place around us, because really we're all in it together. We all live on the same planet. And so we need to all work together as a world in order to make some significant change. So again, I do want to make sure that I keep this short. So I'm going to sign off for today. I will put up another Friday Fun video on Friday. Last week I posted on Thursday because we didn't have school on Friday. So I'll post it on Friday this week. Last week I talked about my prairie, so if you want to go back and check that one out, that's just fine. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. If you have any questions, a great place to ask them is actually in the Google assignment. Underneath it, you can private comment me like on that assignment. So if you open up the wanted poster, and then you can type to me on that private message and I actually get an alert right away. So I'm usually pretty quick to respond there. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you. Bye.